Okay, I believe we are live. Let's make sure the stream information is correct. Did it save this time? It did. How wonderful. Hello, everybody, and welcome to what very well may be the finale of Final Fantasy II, and also probably the Tomb. I believe it will be. Close enough for that to be true. So, let me launch Final Fantasy II and we'll get right into it. As soon as it wants to switch to game capture. Oh well, since we're so close to the end, another thing we need to do. Verify the bestiary entries. Because we are going for 100%, which thankfully, in this game, should just be the bestiary entries. I don't think there's anything else. Like, I don't think there's secret bosses until Final Fantasy V, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, in the Game Boy Advanced remakes of this, there were, but these pixel remasters are more accurate to the NES originals. So, as far as I'm aware, I think most of what we're going to encounter should be in these last areas of the game. But I suppose we'll worry about that once we actually progress a bit more. Because I am missing more entries than I initially thought. So I'd rather figure that out once we actually get to that point. For now, we are back here, which is to say right outside Castle Palamisia, where the Dark Knight is. And we are simply going to land in and find our way there. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there are a few chests here, 17. But I believe we have all the chests everywhere else. We do, except we're missing an item still in Castle Diced, which I'm not entirely sure I can get. Well, I'll go back there after this castle, because I don't think the castle is the last dungeon, but I'm pretty sure the last dungeon is after it, if I'm using my knowledge of general Final Fantasy tropes correctly. But with that said, we must get to killing, because that is what we must do. As always, of course. I also must be doing healings. I don't know if I have potions. I'm guessing not, since there are none here. Oh, I didn't even notice that Firion died. Everyone's at full. We're all fine now. Probably, anyway. Anywhere else to go? No. This will be a maze-like dungeon, I'm sure. And that puts us down here, which gives us multiple ways to go yet again. But we will find our way through, no problem. Mostly just care about getting all the chests. If this dungeon is like a few other dungeons in this game, where it's not accessible after we finish it, I would like to get all the chests without having to reload. The question is, where does this go? and it goes to nowhere. Well, that's easy. Hello, Andy, and welcome to the stream. Welcome to the possible finale of 2 games. We shall see. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and are ready to see us go to hell and also hit the last evil pig. Also, however many side quests there are in Tomba when we get to that. I definitely am going to pull up the wiki when we get to that, though. Wasn't too bad at all. Definitely a big weekend of anticipation for next week. Leaving games on cliffhangers, but also anticipation of Resident Evil this weekend. Ooh. Now that sounds fun. It's been a while since I played like an actual board game. But Game of Thrones board game sounds great. Excuse me, skulls and plants. I just want this chest over here. You can continue your patrol after I loot it. Garlic. Well, alrighty then. Well, this is definitely not Dracula's castle. Very nice. Everyone is getting ever stronger, if that's needed, but just in time for the final last bits of this game. Some of these enemies have more health than I would have expected. Still no match for Firion and the others, but I do debate running from a lot of them. But the extra levels, the extra bit of stat increases might be nice. I'm not sure what to expect from the final boss, considering how 1 went. Wow, 700 damage, okay. Oh, excuse me, Mr. General. Excellent. This dungeon is significantly less maze-like than I was expecting it to be. Far fewer dead ends already. Should be a relatively quick jaunt. Oh, well, not if everyone important gets stopped. That would not be ideal. Do I have anything? Don't believe so. I'm sure there's a dungeon after this, because of the lore book that mentioned Pandemonium, or the Lair of Hell, or whatever. I'm sure that's going to be the actual last thing. One simply does not mention a place in Final Fantasy without going there. But I imagine this would have to be right before it. Yeah, that, drum that Rickard used kind of sucked. How about see if that works literally at all. An item that confuses enemies. We'll see about that. Nope. Okay, great. Well, goodbye. That is how to deal with that situation. I mean, to be fair, knowing Final Fantasy, there would be some mystical item of immense use called Spoiled Milk. Is well within the realm of possibility. Well, to be fair, I think, ironically, I remember getting Spoiled Milk in Castlevania, of all things. Like, literally as an item. That might have been in Ecclesia. Definitely not useful in that game, though. But spoiled milk in a wall is significantly more realistic than non-spoiled meat in a wall. The stone golem kinda has a lot of health and a lot of not dying. Great. Well, he's dead, so that's pretty much anything threatening gone. Well, hello there, snake ladies. And goodbye. Ultima is still so underwhelming. That is always the way to do work. When you can get away with it, definitely slack. At least that's my motto, and definitely what I'm going to be doing at work. I still haven't been able to do much because of various reasons, not the least of which is I needed to get another van to be able to go to my trainer. So my boss drove me to Kansas City, and then I had to drive back in the van I got. So that's literally all I got to do today, so that was like 7 hours of driving. Listen, Guy, you can't just die just because someone casts death on you. Very inconsiderate to me, who has to revive you. Well, I'm sure I will change my mind eventually, but so far I actually don't mind driving that much. We'll see after I have to do a lot of driving for my job. Amoeba. Already been. I'll say, a van is definitely not my preferred vehicle of choice, especially considering all I've driven so far is like a car that's less than half the size of the van. But I will take a free car with free gas, with free maintenance, over having to drive my car, that's for sure. Who is fighting me on the stairs? More amoebas. How dare you? Alright. Here we have one chest, potentially more. We'll see when we enter that door. Saint's Spirit, which is... I don't know. There's some shitty item. Oh great, another golem. Who hopefully will not stop everyone. Well, not everyone. Goodbye. I don't know what the max spell level is, but I feel it will never do as much damage as Firion's dual wielding capabilities. They're just too powerful. Cannot possibly be stopped. Oh my lord, well... Hopefully there's not too much more. I mean, we're almost halfway on the chest counter, so... Hopefully there's some chests in here. Perhaps. Would be ideal. There are. How wonderful. So then we are more than halfway done on chests, which means hopefully we're more than halfway done with the dungeon. I believe we got all the missables. All the potentially missable bestiary entries. So I don't need that guide open. And so long as I don't miss the chests, I don't need to worry about anything. Except running into an encounter every 5 minutes. And by 5 minutes, I mean 5 steps. If only it was once every 5 minutes. Though I think the dungeon would go with 0 encounters if it was every 5 minutes, because it does not take that long to run through a room. Or a series of rooms, as it were. I don't need to buy more ethers. I can keep Maria doing magic. Brings us to, I think, proper way to go? I can't tell. Oh man, I hope I don't have to backtrack to get chests. Because I do not have a map of this place, so I've just been guessing at where to go. At least the backtracking wouldn't take long. It's just the getting back after backtracking. Ooh, we got a queen now. Which is actually the boss that I fought before, so I guess do everything as normal. Blaster X, which, oh. Thankfully that didn't last long. That could have been a lot worse if that paralysis lasted longer. Not bad at all. Sunblade. Is Sunblade better? Sunblade is better. Is it? Even more better sword for Firion, as if such a thing was even remotely needed. And I am still missing 6 chests. Firion is truly a murder machine now. Also, Guy is dead. I did not see that. I don't know how long that's been the case. I think the skull might have cast death on him. His weakness is death, actually, as it would seem. Excellent. Brings us to... don't know. somewhere. Another room, which might be a dead end or chests. Either or would be ideal. I do like chests. Skulls, not so much. Not exactly my aesthetic. Although they are blue, which is definitely a good thing. Could perhaps make an exception for blue skulls. Three elixirs as well. Now that is very nice. It's not, you know, the whole run back. That is less nice. Actually, I'll just use the spell rather than run to the stairs. A much better idea, but first I will destroy this golem for daring to put you to sleep. His giant fist. As logic would dictate, a giant splintery fist to the face equals sleep. I know when I'm having insomnia, that's how I go to bed. Regardless. So now we are going to go back again. And we're gonna go all the way around. Very good, very good. That's good. So many skulls. This is a singular stone golem with no backup, even. Some very ancient enemies from a long time ago that pose no threat whatsoever. Because it feels like a long time ago. Either way, they are deceased. I definitely am almost at the point where I just want to run. There are sure a lot of enemies. And most of them have health. Which does tend to make this take a minute. I am very soon going to run out of ethers. There, I'm out. That was soon. Still got 159 magic, which should be enough, one would assume. 3 more chests. That sounds about right. Goodbye, Stone Golem. And goodbye, Vampire Weeaboo girls. We're missing a singular chest. Son of a bitch. But where? What? Where? Okay. So there's 2 on this floor, but I need 3. So let us carefully find out what floor from which I am missing chests. Or a single chest, rather. No, I think I remember seeing a chest in the middle at some point, but not seeing a direct way to get it. So I kept going, thinking that I'd be able to get it at a later point, but we've reached the end, and that later point has never come. I don't know what weird menu analysis I was doing just there. Okay, I see the chest there. That is where I missed it, but did I not think? I must not have noticed the stair difference? Yeah. This is just as simple as going around and up here. How about that, huh? Well, given that I'm out of ethers, I'm definitely going to have Maria start attacking rather than using magic. I might leave from the battles on my way up, though. Definitely little reason to continue to do them. Just for the most part. Some of these enemies still do hit decently hard, so I don't mind getting more experience. Just, I'm not fighting everything on the entire way back up. I'll do that right now. Suppose it depends on what I fight. If I have another golem plus many things encounter, I'm probably going to start running at that point. If I have not started running before then. There's no need to run from a single amoeba, though. It's exactly the thing I wanted to run from, and I had auto battle on, as usual. Okay. There we go. No, it shouldn't be too bad. Figure if anyone should still be attacking, it's Firion, just in case a retreat fails. Huh. I didn't expect him to attack, and still just ran away. Even Firion has not one-shot that enemy. Clearly, it has way too much health. Of course I should have Firion run away as well. Just to increase the chances of it working. If I'm not mistaken, we are almost there. Almost there. Son of a bitch, this was the wrong way. But at least most of the escapes are instantaneous. Alright. I believe the correct way is all the way around. Wow, he sure hit Maria for a lot of damage. Wow, we're sure still not running away. There we go. And now Maria has 0 MP. It'll be fine though. Who needs magic? He still on attack. Well, I believe this is the last floor before the end. Means we can get the last 2 chests and fight the boss, which I believe was the Dark Knight, as we were told. Emperor's dead. Obviously. Definitely not a Final Fantasy game. They bring back the final boss, right? Like, they've definitely never done that before. Or they bring back an antagonist who is thought to be dead. Definitely not. Wonderful. Almost there to the last two chests. There's Hellfire and Wind Flute, which I don't know what Hellfire is, but it probably sucks, honestly. It's a generally good guesstimate. Great. Wonderful. Listen here, gentlemen. We need not fight these things. Because we need to fight them a little when they ambush us. But how about you don't get ambushed? Have you ever thought about that, party? Okay. Don't think I need to do this. I will quick save regardless, double check that I got everything. I expected you'd come, Firion. Do you really think you can kill me? Stop, both of you. Why do you insist on fighting, Leon? Weak words from the weak. Do you know what rules the world? Power. Sheer power. The Imperial throne is mine, and the weak cannot survive without the strong to control them. How many lives did the rebels throw away when they chose to oppose the Empire? I think something's wrong with your throne. Oh, look, it's the Emperor, who I definitely didn't see returning. Illusions of grandeur do not become you, Leon. Though I find the thought of you as Emperor quite deliciously absurd, it ends now. This world can have but one Emperor, and I am he. You're alive? What are you? Not that it matters. The Empire is mine now, and I have no intention of handing it over. The Empire? I have no need for such trifles now. All the world shall fall by my hand, and the powers I gained in hell. And your blood will be the first to spill. Call the Wyvern. You can use it to escape. Rickard, what are you doing? You may have a little trouble spilling the blood of Rickard Highwind, last of the Dragoons. Pathetic insect, I will enjoy making you rue those words. May the spirits of the Dragoons lend me their strength. Rickard! And now we ride the Wyvern away again. Oh, well, that must be hell. Which means we get a new party member again! Firion, what's happened? You're the Dark Knight. You'd best start explaining. The Emperor has risen from hell. Rickard died so we could escape. Joseph, Minru, Sid, Rickard, all dead. I don't know how much more I can take. As long as the Emperor lives, more will die. Leon. Princess, let Leon join us, please. The Dark Knight, a rebel? I leave the decision to you. Leon, let's fight the Emperor together, please. Maria, Firion. Alright. Well, that was a very quick decision. Amazing speedrun of that redemption arc. Wow, you guys still have nothing to say, literally ever. Okay, well let me take a look at Mr. Leon, who has no magic. He dual wields, so I guess that's kinda cool, I guess. Like, I mean, for reference, other than a short stint at the beginning of the game, this is like literally the only time in the entire game, I've had the fourth party member that I named at the beginning of the game in my party. But, you know, still, why is it showing me a hole in the ground? Was I supposed to ask about something? I guess I didn't even try to talk to the princess. But why is there a big hole in the ground? Once the monsters of hell poured forth into the world, they entered using a path known as the Jade Passage. Oh, that's probably what that is. I've heard there's a place in Mysidia known by that name. Wow, you don't say. The thing you just told me about? Wonderful. Great job. Alright, what? The Emperor's sold his soul to the devil. There's a narrow strait to the east of Mysidia. That whole area is the Jade Sea. Okay. Is that what the hole in the ground is? The castle that appeared at the time of the Emperor's resurrection. It can only be Pandemonium, a fortress of the Lord of Hell. Myths and fairy tales of Keshwan speak of a small lake in Mysidia. It said that those who enter the lake are taken to hell. Oh. Well, finally, one of you three says something that I can use that is actually useful. If I know what I'm doing. I mean, maybe that's the Jade Passage. But at least now I know it's literally where I need to go. However, I did just forget I need to buy items. Again. But, if this is the end of the game, I need to figure out how to get this item from the castle. Missing a singular item. Byron, what happened to that Dragoon man? He's coming back, right? Rickard's gone too, then. He was a noble Dragoon. I'm sure he was pleased that he could die in the name of honor. What do you know about Jade Passage? What do you know about Ultima? Do you know anything about anything? Are you just a random woman in a ruined castle? I think we'll leave Dice behind and find a new place to live. There are too many painful memories within these walls. Oh, I meant to thank you for saving the Wyvern egg and for giving me the chance to see Rickard one last time. That's why I want you to have this. It is the most treasured possession of the Dragoons of Dice, Excalibur. Oh, just literally Excalibur. With Rickard gone, you should be the ones to wield this sword. That is exactly what we needed on Firion, which is yet another amazing sword. Means I guess I can give this Ding Dong Defender. I don't think there's anything else that I can equip. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, well, now we're gonna take a nap, buy items, then I guess we're gonna go in the hole in the ground that it so conveniently showed me. Which I'm assuming it wants me to do, because I can't presumably fly to the Hell Castle. Don't know, haven't tried. Hold on. I don't even remember what time I am. Do you have anything to say? No. Wow, just people talking about the Dreadnought. You did it. I'm sure this will be low to the Empire. I think they're a bit behind on the times. A lot has happened. Let me buy some more gold needles. Just in case. Literally all the ethers that I need. All the potions that I need. All the high potions that I need. That should honestly be it. I can buy more. It is this guy. Elixirs. For all the money that I have, I can literally only buy 14 elixirs. I'm not going to buy that many. In fact, I'm only going to buy 5. I think they're literally the elixir of life with how much they cost. I mean, and they might as well be. They heal both health and magic completely to full. But then again, so does a good night's rest, so... Is the true elixir of life just sleeping? Speaking of sleeping, I did not do that. Where's the bed? Excuse me, get out of my way, nerds. I have a nap with my name on it. It's always a good solution, not the Emperor. Just rose from hell, take a nap. Forget about it. We'll be fine in the morning. Alright, anywho. We got a hole in the ground to go to, apparently. So I'm definitely going to save and quick save before I do, because I don't know if I can return. Also, not 100% sure where it was. Oh boy. I will definitely find it, I tell you that much. Just, you know, I gotta find it. Well, while I'm flying around and in this general area, let me make sure you can't actually just fly to hell. Yeah, no, it won't let you go to hell. So about that hole in the ground that it showed me, but it showed me before I had the chance to buy anything, so now I've lost track of where it was. Great. 10 out of 10 out of 10. I know it was like not. It was like by the coast, was it not? It's like at the bottom right of all landmass. There's only so many bottom rights, and only so many landmasses. Oh, is it over here? Here it is. Here's hole in the ground. I wish I could look at the bestiary within the game itself. Get out of here. Well, I forgot to quick save, but yep, it's the Jade Passage. Although those look like amethyst and not jade, so I think this might be an inappropriately named place. Wait, hold on. I'm not gonna look like a fool. Can jade be purple? Yes. Lavender jade is one of the rarest forms of jade, and yeah, okay, so that is accurate. It could still technically be the Jade Passage, but you know, when people hear jade, they don't think of purple, and that's not what I thought. I thought I'd, you know, see some green gems and not what looks like amethyst. A Jade Passage sounds a bit better than Amethyst Passage. Oh, hello, White Dragon. Should probably, I'm gonna say use magic, but honestly, I don't know. Stick with the cure. Yeah. I want to make absolutely sure that I don't need to come back to anywhere. It's 14 chests in the Jade Passage. So, it might not be the most entertaining endeavor, but I'm going to take a quick peek at the bestiary. Let me just, pull up the bestiary, which means that we must save. Then according to achievements, I'm missing 26 of bestiary entries. I've also got to level up a weapon skill and a magic skill to 16. Which, if I don't do that by the end of the game, I'll just do that off stream. That's such a minor bit of completion that does not need to be streamed. I mean, for all the random encounters I fought, I can't even believe I don't have a weapon skill at 16. I guess that's the max. Traveled all map locations. Yeah, I'm assuming once we get to hell, that'll trigger. 26 bestiary entries sounds like a lot, which is most certainly why I want to make sure that they're all in these next 2 dungeons, and not, like, in some random forest that I need to still go to, you know? Okay, so 32 and 34. Yep, Jade Passage. The end of the game. Um, 37 is in the Jade Passage. 47. End of the game. There's a star next to it, so I don't even need to see what it is. So it must be a boss / spoiler. I'm not even gonna click on that. But verify that it is where we are going. More stuff that's right where we're going. It looks like we might find all of these enemies in the Jade Passage and Final Dungeon, which would be very convenient. It would be very, very convenient indeed. Ho ho! There is one enemy I see that is not, in fact, in the Jade Passage or Final Dungeon. So it's a good thing I looked at this, because that would just be annoying to backtrack for. That's also a weird location for that enemy, but that's also not the end of the game. What a weird place that this enemy would appear. Apparently only after getting Ultima. Like, a place that I would not go back to for any reason. Also a weird enemy? Or a weird location? Did I already do 98? Yeah. And then 122 and onward are bosses. Oh, except 124. Even 119 is a boss. However, that one's listed as rare, so I'm going to keep that open, because while it is very likely I will encounter everything just because I get an encounter every 1 inch, if it says rare, if even the wiki is saying rare, I'm going to assume that there is the chance I'll miss it. But technically, there are those few I missed. Again, just because I don't see why I would have gone to any of these locations after getting Ultima. The one, I must have just been unlucky. Because it had no requirements, it just... I didn't encounter it. So honestly, I'm really only missing 3 that are out of the way. That's pretty good, all things considered. Now the question is, where are these locations? Okay. This is in the middle of the... So... Oh, that's already one. The Blue Goblin, the Goblin Prince. Don't know how I managed to literally not see him, considering I step 1 foot into this place, and there he is. But let's just, you know, annihilate him with nearly 4,000 damage. For daring to not show up to me earlier, whenever I was here. I've definitely been here, because I got all the chests and the like. So... Great Desert. Where is Great Desert? I see 2 deserts. I'm gonna assume the bigger one is the Great Desert. I don't see what's so great about it. Oh, the fact that I can land in it's pretty great. I couldn't land in a desert in Final Fantasy 1. I tell you what. That's pretty great. That is not it. It is a worm. A worm of sand. He may or may not be from Dune. Probably a lot easier to deal with. Why I would have come here after getting the ultimate magic, I don't know. But there he is. And there he goes. Amazing monster hunt that was. Okay, now the weird one, where, like, I don't see any reason I would have come back here. Although, to be fair... Well, see, now I don't know. Because I can't remember if I took a portal down or if I warped out. Because if I warped out, then yes, that would be why I didn't encounter this thing. But if there's a portal, then that's also why I didn't encounter this thing. But it's very weird that an enemy would only start spawning here after you complete it. For some reason. Oh, no, it doesn't appear in the tower. But that's even weirder, because I'm pretty sure, like, I almost had the airship by this point. Where is Mysidia? Is this Mysidia? What a weird location for a creature. If this is indeed it, it is... Well, there's killer mantises. I need the Mantis King. We must commit insect regicide before we take the Jade Passage straight to hell. Fortunately, it must be done. It might also not be at the tower specifically. I don't know, I should have, like, actually looked at the map. Where is Mysidia? Like, this is Mysidia. So maybe when it says East Mysidia, it means, like, here-ish. Oh, yep, there he is. Oh, look at how kingly he looks. Definitely not just a green and purple version. And he's dead. Okay, well, that was fun. Anyway. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to hit level 16 of any magic skill. By the end of this, I'll just do that on my off time at some point. Firion's only level 12 in magic. Or, not in magic, in swords. 16 is the max level? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to hit that many encounters. Back into the pathway to hell is where we must go. Also, we need chests. Oh, there's a chest there, there's a chest there, and there's lots of doors. We sure love doors. And dragons, apparently. Leon's dual wielding really is awful compared to Firion's. Here's Firion doing like 1500 damage. And I think Leon did like 300. To be fair, I'm pretty sure Leon is more appropriately leveled for where we are. But, I mean, that just makes him look even more silly that he was going to try to rule the Empire after we showed up. So, joke's on him. I wonder if there's any magic I can cast. Hoping there'd be some magic I can spam, even if it doesn't do anything. But alas. I'm pretty sure those aren't salamanders, those look like chameleons to me. Mega parasite. Wow. That parasite sure was mega, the way it instantly died. And it's dead. Wonderful. And it's a dead end. Even more wonderful. Not really, but you know. Alright, and we go down, and one of these is a dead end, I'm assuming. There's the dead end. Abyssworm and Great Malboral. I don't know if he's gonna really be that great. We'll see. Wow. I mean, it was great that we killed him so fast. There are 3 chests on this floor. And, as one might expect, a lot of doors. Perhaps a lot of dead ends? Oh ho ho, you better believe it. I'm so glad there's no achievement for reaching level 99 or something stupid. Well, I guess there isn't really levels in this game, but to be fair, there were levels in the previous Final Fantasy, and there also was not an achievement for reaching 99. And you are damn straight. Butter makes everything better, so I just want to incorporate it into more things, including my language. Buttery smooth. At least what I came up with. Just to excuse. I don't even know. What am I keep losing track? Oh, I wanted to see. So, yeah. So the achievements for getting 16 in a weapon skill. Someone reaches 16 in a weapon skill and 16 in a magic skill. Yeah, that's not happening. That'll just be something I do eventually. What a weird achievement, considering how many fights I've had, and I'm not even really close. Alright. Oh boy, monsters. A blue dragon. Also, this has boss music, I guess? So maybe I won't auto battle? I don't know. Is it actually gonna be threatening? Don't think so. I mean, yeah, he took a lot of damage, but that doesn't really mean much these days. And Maria heals more than that damage dealt. Okay, goodbye, dragon. Cat claws. That is a dagger. Well, no one uses daggers. We like big weapons here. No small weapons allowed. Okay, so that means we will go over this way. You know, on the one hand, I didn't mean to have her attack. Or have her use magic. On the other hand, that is a way I can spam it so she can level it up more, I suppose. So I suppose I should also have her target everyone with it. Ice lizard. Why don't they just call it a chameleon? It's literally a chameleon. Jade Passage B3, which has a single chest and a lot of doors. And a fancy waterfall, I'll have you know. Wisely, one of them fled. The other one breathed fire. And not even much of it. You know, as chameleons are wont to do. That's it. How dare you worms use Cyclone on me. Get out of here. And obviously a dead end. We need 9 more chests. I don't know if any of these doors are gonna have chests in them, but I basically have to pass all of them anyway, so I'm going to check. Good. Give Maria more to do so she can just heal forever. Who's poisoned? No one's poisoned? Is it just ouch water? Yes, it's ouch water. Assume this is going to be a dead end. Wow. How did I know? Almost like I know how dungeon layouts are in the old typical games. Back in my day, 90% of all adventure games was dead ends, and we liked it. Or something like that, I'm sure. Give me that chest. Oh boy, more monsters. And who is it this time? That is not something I've seen in this game. I've seen it in other games. King Behemoth. Well, I don't expect him to be dangerous. So, you know, I'll just continue to pretend he's not dangerous. That's why they call them dead ends. Because they're evil and they want you to be dead. King Behemoth, you are not doing much. Well, King Behemoth is now dead. You've killed a lot of kings. He also gave no experience, but he gave a power sash and a rune axe. Well, he has first dibs on the better axe, because he is better than you, Leon. Power Sash I have, but I could definitely give the Power Sash to, say, also Guy, if it's better. It definitely increases attack. Maria is both the best archer in the land and the best healer in the land. Well, that is a lot of status effect, huh? Boy howdy, that sure is. I mean, that is what Bad Breath should do. But I guess they, refine that later. That sure looked like every single status effect at once. You just gotta have an archer that heals people with the arrows. Heal people with lung-piercing sharp objects that inject heal juice into the bloodstream. Much as I've been spamming her cure, she is still not level 13 in cure. So that'll be a fun grinding session. at some point in my life. Just to get 2 worthless achievements. Let's see if I can get it to 13 by the actual end of the game. Also, like, there's a black mage here? Hello? That is true. That is very appropriate, Cupid. Why? Okay, why is this man here in a literal passage to hell selling magic? Who is he selling it to? He could be selling it to the monsters, except I haven't seen any of the monsters use any of these. And I already know, or had the ability to know these. This is a very poor place to do business, sir. I must say. Yes. So he got lost trying to get into hell so he could sell things to the actual hell people. I'm assuming devils, but I'm sure really I'm gonna get into pandemonium and it's gonna be more worms. Cats and other weird things. This is a dead end. With the green dragon. Oh no. Oh, that is probably the best person to test your negotiating skills on. To be fair. Can't fault him for trying. What have we here? We have the way down. Which leads us to 2 more chests and a few more doors. Nope. Did not mean to go back upstairs. Abyss worm. Trail thing. Oh, that's some lame thing. I don't even know why I got excited about getting an item. Honestly, I do appreciate how the auto battle has Maria use Cure on the most appropriate person. Alright, who could this be? It's Red Dragon. Oh no! And Red Dragon did hit pretty hard, but that's all it's got going for it. Leon does no damage unless he crits. Well, this is how we treat knockoffs. We attack them till they themselves are knocked off. He's also not doing a very good job, considering his Fire Breath move really sucks. You should just stick to melee attacking, but he likes breathing fire and then dying to poison. Great. Yoichibo? What's a Yoichibo? Well, it's good. So I guess Maria's taking that to never use, because I'm trying to get her to level magic. Oh wow, a level 13 cure. It will not last long indeed. All those ethers. I hope when I get to Pandemonium there's a quick way out. For my own sake later. But I'm gonna bet on no. I've gotta be close to Pandemonium. Aha, dead end. Excellent. Okay, so could it be this door? Pit Fiend. Wow, that is the least Pit Fiend-like thing I've ever seen. So, to be fair, when I hear Pit Fiend, I'm biased towards World of Warcraft, which had much more intimidating looking demons for Pit Fiends. We got 2 chests. I hope that the one door that I didn't check didn't have chests in it, or I will be mildly upset. Alright. Mega Parasite. Oh, I guess Maria was on attack mode, but she also shot a lot of arrows. Well, I'm going to continue walking on my way so I can be mad about there being a chest there later. I mean, Maria does a lot of damage with that bow. Imagine being able to shoot 8 arrows from a singular bow in the span of, like, 2 seconds. Oh, what did I pick up? A Protect Ring? Yeah, I could wear that, except it doesn't make me do more damage, so why would I? All about the damage, baby. Aha, a dead end with the Mega Parasites and Ice Lizards. Wow. Yeah. Excellent. Need elixir. Also to make Guy not be an amnesiac by hitting him with a hammer. Or a mallet, as it were. The proper cure for head trauma is just more head trauma. Alright. Down we go. Ever further. I'm gonna do a quick save real fast. Because, if I'm not mistaken, that looks like a teleporter on the map at the end. Which, you know, that's cool and all. Everyone loves teleporters. However, it does make me wonder, does this teleporter go to a different floor? Or does it go to Pandemonium? Oh my lord, stop with the tornadoes. Why do worms have the power of tornadoes anyway? Seems like a very unuseful power for their daily struggle of life. Can't imagine windstorms are that useful underground. Very good. We are gonna heal. And a quick save again. And then... wow. Wow. E. You know what that means. You know what that means. That means those 3 fucking chests I was missing were indeed in the singular place I did not check. Quite literally, the singular room that I did not go to. Nice, hello worms. We're gonna go back to hell just as soon as we go into this door. And loot those 3 chests. Wowee. A holy lance, that's not as good. My shield, which might be better. It is. And that's all I care to change. Now we gotta go back. And then we go to hell for real. I should've just turned around. Should've just checked that one last room. But I thought, no. It's fine. There ain't gonna be chests in that room, or there ain't been chests in any other room. But there was. But we got them now. So now we're going back to hell. And it'll be all okay. Well, let this be a lesson that transcends all games. Check every single inch of everywhere. Always. Every little pixel of map you must explore. Some things just must be done. Firion is so close to level 13 sword. Too bad, I need to get to 16. If only I had a Steam Deck. Then I could attempt to do grinding during work training. Don't worry, we're almost back in hell. Place we all love. We're only missing 12 more bestiary entries. I'm pretty sure they're all in hell. Something like that. Really mega parasite and ice lizards. You're gonna stop me right at the door. Oh. How funny of you. How funny of all of you. Spam some ethers on Maria. Killer mantises and vampire ladies. What a combination. Oh my lord. Abyss worms, please. Okay, here we go. Properly to hell. This is the castle of hell, Pandemonium. And it is kind of fancy looking. It's also very blue and purple. Very blue and purple. Which is not what I was expecting from hell, I suppose, but... And what did I know? Mantis devils. Still just like, you know, creatures. But now they're devils. Where, oh where might a chest be? I know not. Neither does he, because I killed him. Death Rider. I mean, they could be devils. Just patrolling the castle of hell. Until some nerds from the mortal realm just annihilate them before they can even do anything. Oh, he got to stab. And that's all he got to do. A Lamia Queen. Oh, that's kind of cool music. Well, If it was not obvious before, this is the most obvious bit of them remaking the music, because, suffice to say, you did not have vocal music on the NES. Literally cats. Just, you know, cats and snake ladies in hell. And also mantises. I mean, to be fair, if the Emperor took over hell, he maybe just killed all the devils and replaced them with his weird entourage. This is, however, very appropriate music for the final dungeon of the game. It's a very epic sounding. And I can't believe a mithril golem literally ran for his life from me. But that's fine. I get to encounter more snake ladies, so that's all that matters. Ether. How many chests are there? There's 10. That's all the chests that are left, right? Actually, I'm not entirely sure. I'm absolutely sure that I've got all the chests. See, one chest and then another portal. What floor am I even on? I don't remember. I do want to keep an eye out for the one rare enemy. Oh, I went the wrong way. I need to go... I think. Oh, hey Sky, welcome, welcome. Actually, is this floor 4? Because there's one missable left, I think. We are on the final stretch of Final Fantasy II. Nor the dead person. I'm not a black mage, so it's fine. Yeah, pretty much nothing threatens these guys, but mostly Firion. Who's doing like 2,600 damage each turn, depending on the enemy's defense. The fourth party member slot has been changed so many times. You don't even have time to appreciate any of them, because they just keep getting swapped. Fine, though. Oh, that was a lot of damage, sir. These enemies hit hard. I am wondering if they just do a percentage or something, because that is just an obscene amount, and a random amount, too. Well, to be fair, we are in hell. Like, literally, this is Pandemonium, Castle of Hell. It's a casual visit. That is true. But to be fair, this Mithril Golem is not hitting for like 1,300 damage. He only hit for 700. Okay, 4 doors. Excuse me, Mr. Knight. Maria's level 14 with magic, or cure. Ah. Oh my lord. I see we are doing mazes now. They're making me work for my chest. Beast demon who dies instantly. And a plant who lives longer but still dies. This is what they got guarding hell. Oh no! 98 damage! Truly, the guards of hell are very intimidating. Well, anyway. Not even, they attacked Firion, who has 4,000 health. So they'd have to hit him a lot more than that. Ah, monsters, excellent. Oh, okay. How are you here, sir? I guess he did go to hell. He was kind of a jerk. It's Borgin, but he's a zombie. Well, I don't expect him to be very intimidating either. Okay, well, now he's going to super hell. Genji gloves, which are not better. For me, anyway. He stands no chance. Ow. Apparently, there's one more missable, and I need to go through an invisible wall here. Something that, you know, definitely the old game design, because I would not think to explore this remainder of a dead-end room otherwise. How many chests do I have? I have 3. Oh. Mazamoon? Okay. Is that good, though? It is. In fact, it's so good that I think Firion's attack is literally capped out. Like, it just cannot go higher. Well, already then. Max the damage Firion, I suppose. Well, surely that's just the attack stat. Hold on. That is still a good weapon, even if it doesn't raise his stats anymore. So I'll have to fight something that's going to live more than 1 second to actually have him damage it. Okay, well, hitting for 1,000 damage on the golem, who is resistant to physical attacks, is kind of nice, one would say. Alright, now to get back out of here. Let's go down. Devil Wolf. Already. I don't know what makes them devilish. Maybe they're the devil souls of all the wolves I killed from Final Fantasy 1. $2,100 damage with a single sword attack. Well, dear lord. Sure, the enemy didn't want to live anyway. Firion is now doing upwards of 3,500 damage sometimes. Annihilate them all, Firion. Alright. Now we need 6 more chests. And not much more. Down, okay. So many enemies. Tiamat. Okay. Well, Tiamat, I've got a very big sword, so what do you have to say about that? I don't care if you've got boss music. Leon here hitting for 0 damage with both weapons, and then Firion, like, sometimes hitting for 1,000. Oh, there we go. Another boss, in massive quotation marks. Genji helm, which actually is better, so I'm definitely having words Firion used that. Firion is basically a super soldier. Leon can try his best, and that's fine. I will give him that, but his best still sucks. So he can just cheer Firion on, and that would be fine. You just get some cheerleader pom-poms and just stand behind Firion, and he would basically be as useful. $4,000 damage. 4,000 damage from Firion. Excellent. Well, now to the other door. Well, there are 2 doors, presumably. Let's see, there is a chest. Okay, this is the path I need to go, I believe. So I'm gonna go through the other door first and get the chest through there. more monsters, which probably means more boss. Beelzebub. Well, that's like actually a devil. Or a demon, whatever you want to call it. I would say devil, because it's from hell. Still, I don't really think Mr. Beelzebub is going to do much. Even if he does look like a weird insect. As a unique model compared to other monsters. Oh no! It's a very small amount of physical damage. Oh wowee, he's almost done a fourth of Guy's health as he dies. Well, Lord of Hell. Great job, I guess. Genji armor, which boosts Firion's defense by a whole 50. Well over 50%. Brings the evasion down, though. And right now, Firion has 99% evasion, so I think I will not equip that armor, because... Well, to be fair, the evasion doesn't seem to be doing much. He still gets attacked, so instead, yes, I will use the Genji armor. Alright, now to take the long trek through the other floor. All these creatures of hell trying so fruitlessly to stop us. That golem didn't even get a chance to respond. Actually, this is floor 6. I think this is, in fact... Yeah, there's one enemy I want to make sure I get for my bestiary that is rare. This is for floor 5 or 6. Well, let us see. It is one of those... Final Fantasy 1 had one as well, which I didn't fight on stream, but I had previously fought. One of those types of creatures that is like a random encounter, but is like ridiculously more powerful than anything else. Except maybe like secret bosses. So... There's a little quick save, just in case. Who are you? This is another boss, quote-unquote, Astaroth. I think that's, like, the name of a devil. Don't think that's gonna matter much. I mean, he at least did damage. Leon's dead. I guess maybe I shouldn't auto-battle. I was not expecting this this guy hit so hard, so I just went on auto battle. Oh wow. Instead of attacking, he used poison for some reason. Let's see, that's like 1400. Well, if he's just resorting to shitty attacks, I suppose that's fine too. Oh, Andy's dead. Just like Leon, because Leon is now the new Black Mage, I guess. Constantly dying in the final dungeon. Ribbon. Well. Ribbons are nice. I'm assuming a ribbon is not better. A ribbon would be better for Firion, actually. Just not in defense, but that doesn't matter. There's a ribbon in Final Fantasy. Prevents any and all status effects. At least it does in most of them. That's what it's known for. I don't know if it worked properly in the first one, but that's what it's supposed to do, so I'm putting that on everyone. Well, the two people that I have ribbons for, which would be Firion and Maria, because they're the highest priority characters. So anyway, now I'm going to quick save and try and find this other encounter that I need for the bestiary, which might take a hot minute. I don't know if I fought Fire Gaius before, actually. But if I didn't, he's also in the bestiary now. Jeez. So much damage, Firion. Calm down. We will know when we get the encounter that I need, because it will play boss music. Boss music for a random encounter. I don't know what the spawn rate is, to be fair. I wonder if it shows the spawn rate for this thing. Well, this will be an unfortunately not overly engaging bit of stream, but he's here. I know it. I can feel him. He's also got a very low spawn rate. Almost demotivating spawn rate, but it's not as bad as hunting for shinies in Pokemon. It's not like that bad. Like 2%. Which, to be fair, with the amount of encounters I get, that's honestly not that bad at all. It's just, I suppose I could try fleeing from all the encounters. But I do want Firion to level up his sword skill more. To be fair, it's barely at the beginning of 13. It'll be a long-ass while. Oh my lord. But why? But why for bad spawn rate? It's okay, we will definitely find him soon. I can feel it. Power of the stream. Excuse me, sir, where are you? Oh my lord, sir. Oh, I didn't mean to step on that, but it also took me down to floor 4 for some reason. Oh, I guess there's another teleporter, to be fair. Didn't realize I could walk through this wall over here. Don't think that helps me any, but interesting nonetheless. There sure are a lot of cats in hell for some reason. I'm not saying it's an inaccurate representation. Just interesting. Oof. I probably will do it after I beat the game off stream at some point if it takes too long. I just would really like to fight the thing on stream. I don't think it'll actually be tough, but you know, you never know. I'm only missing 3 chests, and I'm only missing 3 bestiary entries, believe it or not. So yeah, it's probably this guy, 1 more boss in a chest, and then the final boss is all I'm missing from the bestiary. So how infuriating that this guy just doesn't want to show up. He's a bit shy. He doesn't want to say hi to the stream, unfortunately. Because he's rude. Although, if I were just knowing that this is a really powerful enemy that can be randomly found, that is generally stronger than, at least in the first game, the random equivalent, could have debatably been harder than the final boss. Picture being a ye-old child playing this game, you know, without quick saves, without auto saves, because the NES didn't have that, and you're just going through the dungeon, and this randomly powerful enemy comes up and just annihilates you. No warning. Unavoidable. Old game design sure was spectacular. Not necessarily good spectacular, but spectacular nonetheless. I think I looked up true secret bosses, like the actual more powerful than the final boss type secret bosses, aren't a thing until about Final Fantasy V, as far as the originals go. I'm excited to actually get to that point. That's probably when the game branches out to have a lot more optional content. Because there's not really much in the way of optional stuff in this game. Which is funny, because as overpowered as the game made me just by playing it normally, it's a shame there's nothing optional to actually put that extra power to use on. Because suffice to say, this, I don't even take damage like 90% of the time from the random counters in the dungeon. It's hardly what I would call difficult content appropriate to the power level that I'm at, just from playing through normally. There were Game Boy Advance releases of these old Final Fantasy games long before these pixel remasters that had extra dungeons. But I guess they opted for a more pure experience for these remasters. Which is honestly fine by me. Because, oh. Well, yep. It had a longer load screen and it has boss music. So, I don't actually think he's going to be difficult. But I mean, I've been very wrong about many things in my life. There's Leon doing 0 damage, as normal. He did not attack. I will not complain about that, but, sure. Okay. I was correct. Amazing boss music. Okay, well anyway, we're gonna continue on our way. I am not entirely sure how I ended up so overleveled, because I really didn't do grinding, except for literally what you just saw, trying to get him to spawn. Maybe I just inadvertently broke the game by having someone dual wield, even though that was an option that I was allowed to do. I don't know. Firion does a lot of fucking damage, though. Firion is like 10,000 steps above and beyond everyone else. For no reason other than I gave him 2 swords. And I continued to consistently give him 2 swords. I think there's only the one chest here. I am going to flee for the most part. Because I want to get to the end of this so we can get to Tomba. Because we are technically near the 2.5 hour mark for Final Fantasy. I was not expecting it to take this long, but to be fair, with this encounter rate, you know, it's going to take a hot minute more than one would normally take doing things. We only need 2 chests now. And 2 bestiary entries, one of which I would assume is in the chest. Well, there's 1 chest. There's 2 chests. I think I got Thunder Gygus, but I'm gonna kill him anyway. I think that I got him from the tower. But, you know, now we double got him just in case I didn't. Can you guys run by yourselves? Yes. I'll see you, nerds. Too bad Guy is just dead. Guy and Leon cannot catch a break. Not that they really deserve one, but they also can't catch one. Hellfire? What is Hellfire? It must not be something good if I already have it. I can't find it. Is this the last chest? Yeah, this one up here is the last of the chests. You just had to get a swing in before we ran. Oh, they followed us. Oh. We will somehow not outrun the giant and the floating bombs. Which is fine, because they don't really do any damage. They also really didn't put that many tough enemies in here. The bombs, I've probably first encountered like several hours of game time ago. Like, they're that old of an enemy. I'm really surprised that they're still here. Acid file. I am still missing 2 bestiary entries. So the final boss is 1. Let me do a quick save and check the bestiary right quick. Because I'm pretty sure it should just be the final boss. Something else? What is 72? One moment. I need to see what I missed that wasn't the final boss. Don't know how I missed that, but that is definitely something I will do. You know, let me see. I load the quick save. So I am saving here. I need to see if I can just get directly back here without having to go through the passage. I'm guessing not. Okay. Well, we're not going to worry about that on stream. That's fine. That's not something that was missable. It's just some stupid enemy that somehow, despite getting like 75 encounters in the tunnel to hell, that creature was not one of them. That's fine. Because I'm basically at 100% completion. And I will be when I have time to grind the last weapon skills that I need off screen as well. As far as the actual stream of this game is concerned, I am at 100% completion with all the chests, all the bosses, etc. Speaking of all the bosses, I believe we should be near the top of this place, are we not? This in fact does look like the top, or near it. Oh, I like how this boss that I fought is now a random enemy, except he was also super weak, so he might as well just be a random enemy. But they're a random enemy that can actually live for a turn. And only a turn. Let's not get too crazy now. Well, this is a very cool looking final floor. Presumably final floor. Really? I don't want to fight 3 ice giants. I want to fight the boss. You have braved the bowels of hell to reach me, but the hand of man which deals in false justice and forsaken love can never hope to defeat the Lord Master of Hell. Okay, buddy. I guess the Emperor literally did take over Hell. That's fine. Let's see what the Emperor can do. And to be fair, only Firion is doing, like, physical damage in any meaningful capacity. Although the problem with that is... I need Maria to have health. And not be dead. You don't... I wonder... Yeah, he definitely heals a lot when he attacks. I wonder if there's anything I can do to mitigate that. This... Okay. So let me try not having Maria die. I don't think there's any other items I need. Probably will just heal using these elixirs. Though I wonder if Ultima actually will do damage to him. I mean, kinda. Wow. Flare, which is like one of the strongest forms of magic in Final Fantasy games, did basically nothing compared to his melee attacks, and also didn't heal him, so... Yeah, I hope he just keeps doing that. That'd be ideal. Starfall. Don't know about that one. Basically did nothing, okay. Excellent. Just like Guy's cure does basically nothing. Like, this magic that he's using is so much more visually impressive than his melee attacks. And yet it does quite literally jack all. Yeah, I forgot. I can't believe this entire time I have not hasted Firion. Like, haste is the best spell in any game where haste is a thing. Although it's a shitty level 1 haste. Because of the way the magic system works in this game, so it's not actually that impressive. Unfortunately. Well, I think they have an item that gives haste, which might actually give a not shitty version of haste. I will attempt to see if that works. To give Firion better haste. If I can figure out what the item was called. Hermes shoes. That should be like good haste, yeah. Haste 8. That's definitely better than haste 1, Maria. I also like how this man is still not doing any actual attack. For some reason. Don't know if there's anything else I can use that would be useful in this situation. Oh, I can use the Wyvern, I guess. Well, I don't know why the Wyvern's in my inventory, but now I'm very tempted to use it. Wow, 32 damage. Great. 10 out of 10. This Maria's gonna have to heal, because Yi cannot do jack shit with his cure. He, really likes doing basically nothing, doesn't he? I mean, I'm not complaining. If he wants to not melee attack with his life-stealing shitty melee attack, that's fine by me. Wow. That last 35 damage truly made the difference. Unbelievable. Defeated by insects like you, not once but twice. Who are you? Hooah! Well, this is Firion and his 3 underlings who don't even deserve names, honestly. Except Maria, because she heals. So it's really just Firion, Maria, and their 2 dum-dums. It's done. Now let's get out of here. It's finally over, isn't it? It was a long struggle, but with the Emperor gone, we've nothing left to fear. Thank you. With all my heart, I thank you. With the combined strength of Kashwan and Finn, we will build the kingdom anew. Together, Princess, we will create a kingdom even fairer than the old. But once a coward, I now stand here a new man. I have all of you to thank for that. You have my deepest gratitude. Sir Scott is smiling down on me from above. Look at you. Do you realize what you've done? Who am I supposed to steal from with the Empire gone? You put me out of a job. I guess I'll just have to start stealing from you. Better watch your backs. Sure showed him, Firion. You're every bit the bloke I pegged you for. Do you ever feel like trying your hand at pirating? What? That not sit well with you, Maria? Looks like your next battle's already begun, Firion. You did it. I'm sure my dad's happy for you too, up there above the clouds. I'm going to be working here, serving the princess. I just want to do whatever I can to help out. Joseph? We must now dedicate ourselves to the task of restoring what was lost. Farewell. Words cannot express my gratitude to you all. Then they just leave. Into the wall. War finally over. Yes. We can all live in peace again, together. Right, Leon? There can be no going back, not for all of us. But why? Don't go, fear and stop him. Maria, Leon is right. We've been through too much. I can't stop him. Not now. Leon, we will meet again. But probably not, because there's not been a sequel to Final Fantasy II. There's all the dead people that were in my character slot 4. Also Layla. A lot of character slot 4 people. Oh, we should be going too. This is only the beginning. Right, the credits are just about to start. Their long struggle was finally at an end. The Emperor, Pandemonium, the monsters plaguing the world. Oh yes, they were plaguing the world. All had vanished without a trace. How liberating that must be. Peace had returned once more. The wounds of the war would mend, and the memory of those bitter days would fade. But one thing would never be forgotten. That a band of young heroes once saved the world. I mean, you could just say that Firion and Maria saved the world. To the fans across the globe, both past and present, and to the crew who brought the originals to life, we offer our profound and heartfelt thanks. Nice message from Square Enix. Though I never played the original, so that doesn't entirely apply to me. Well, that is Final Fantasy II. Like, 8 trillion% more story-based than Final Fantasy 1, and I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 3 is, in the same capacity, more story-based than Final Fantasy 2. We're slowly getting more involved. But just you wait till we get to 6. 6 I've played, and 6 is truly a gem of a game. I definitely like 2 more than 1, but, you know, other than grinding for the last achievements off stream, it's probably not anything I'm going to replay. It's still basically like, from a modern lens. Mostly the historical appreciation of it. Musically, it's still great, though. Well, the remastered soundtrack is great. I definitely appreciated the pixel remasters, but man, if only, you know, in this era of gaming remakes, why couldn't they just remake the old Final Fantasies with modern gameplay? If only. Perhaps someday. I forget if I can skip the credits or not. I was kind of hoping to hear the Final Fantasy theme. Does not appear that I can skip the credits. Well, that is a shame, but that gives me time to adjust the stream information for Tomba, which, I mean, we finished Final Fantasy 2, so clearly we have to finish Tomba. It must be done, and it will be done, probably, maybe. One would assume. Which means I also need to pull up the Tomba quest list, because Lord knows no normal human could, in a realistic time frame, find all the quests, let alone figure out what they even mean and do them. So we're definitely going to basically wiki all the side content in the game before we finish it. Considering Tomba drove me insane on Friday, I'm perfectly fine with that, as Andy is well aware. But for now, I will get the stream information ready to update. So, unless there's still way more of Tomba left than I think, we will definitely be finishing it tonight, which means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have to have something to stream that will be finished Thursday, because Friday is the day of Resident Evil 4. And I will also stream Saturday, because I'm not just streaming Friday and then not playing it again till Monday. That's not going to happen. So Friday, Saturday is going to be Resident Evil 4. If it's the same length as it was on GameCube, maybe we'd even finish it Friday, Saturday, depending on how long I stream. That is definitely a possibility. I'm definitely excited to play it, so I might stream straight out of my Pathfinder game, which would be... I'd probably be able to start at like 5 Central, and if I stream for like 7 hours, which is definitely a possibility, because I really want to play Resident Evil, we might do that. We might play it and finish it this weekend, which means Monday we would resume our Final Fantasy and Tomba streams, because there's a Tomba 2, keep that in mind, and then Final Fantasy 3. I'm way more excited for Final Fantasy 3 than I was for either of these two, because A, I know Final Fantasy 3 has story, and B, like almost every aspect of Final Fantasy 3's story was reused in Final Fantasy 14's own way. 14 being the successful Final Fantasy MMO. I'm very curious to see where a lot of stuff originates from. That said, I really wish these credits were over, so we could move on with our lives and get some pigs. But alas. Soon. Soon enough, very soon. It's amazing how long the credits are for these. It's just a lot. But any second now, and we will be through. I do have to make sure there's nothing at the end, or that it doesn't need me to save anything. Which sometimes games do that. So usually they let you skip the credits. But this is Square Enix, so you can't expect everything to be good. They sure want me to know about Poll to Win Europe Square Enix support representatives. Definitely can't skip that. Where would we be as gamers if we could skip knowing who was involved in that? Or who was the QA mastering technician of PTW International UK? That's the problem with gamers nowadays. They don't want to know these things. These very integral things that help us appreciate the game. Although, on a more serious note, I really do not understand why, the English credits have all the non-English crediting. So that might be a Square Enix thing? I don't know. Does every game do that? Because if so, A, why? And B, double why can't players skip this shit? I've never understood. As if the players need to see. Or will care. Like, really, you just need that. The big Square Enix box. And like, thank you for playing, goodbye. See you next week when you start 3. That would be plenty appropriate, I feel. Oh, there's the end. There's the actual ending that allows me, yes, I can, data saves progress up to the final boss. There we go. I knew it was gonna allow me to save with some stuff. And of course, the achievement didn't pop until the end. Thank you, Square Enix, for making me watch all those credits for no reason. I really appreciate it. I feel accomplished. I feel like, as a gamer, I tried an accomplishment from watching the credits. Now, regardless, it is time for Tomba. I'm gonna hit this so the stream information updates. And we can find it so I can open it and potentially beat it. I sure damn hope so. So on that note, let me get a cut point.